Hey, how's it going? It's September 12th, 2022. This is your Daily Sweet Talk. I love One Piece. It's one of my favorite stories, even though I haven't finished it. I've been on volume 76 now for a while. But I've been a fan since I was a kid, uh, when I was introduced to it on Saturday mornings, watching 4Kids and watching the 4Kids dub of One Piece. A lot of people seem to think this is one of the worst anime dubs there is. I'm not like One Piece is really the only anime that I really like. I've seen some others, but One Piece is the only one I'm really a big fan of. Mostly the manga, really the manga more than the anime. But I would not have ever been introduced to One Piece without having seen this dub, which is supposed to be so bad. As a kid, I really enjoyed it. I was a big fan of pirates, and this is this pirate story with all these crazy, interesting characters, and this really interesting setting, and just a crazy world. I don't know. As a kid, it really appealed to me. I really liked it. I kind of fell out around after Chopper was introduced, after that whole arc was done. I kind of fell out around there, and I guess it ended shortly after that, after the crocodile arc. I didn't see all that happen in 4Kids, on 4Kids. But what I did see, I really enjoyed. And then years later, I would start reading the manga and get up to this, and then haven't really read as much in the past few years, so I haven't finished, but or caught up rather. I think the dub, the hate for the 4Kids dub, the criticism is deserved. All of the parts that are criticized, like, yes, that I guess that's lesser than the actual story, the things that they changed. But it's all to serve a dub meant for kids. You really have to meet it, like, you have to take it for what it is. So some of the big censorship changes, that's what the big thing is. There's a few story things cut out, but a few of the censored things, like people getting shot and stabbed and clawed and whatever, with no blood at all. And it makes it more silly and cartoony, I guess, because people are getting really hurt and you don't really see it. It's just people saying, "Oh my God, you're about to die," and then they're just like, they've been hit a bunch of times, but there's no blood. But that's kind of how the anime is. That's how the story is anyway. Like, they should be dead anyway with the amount of times they're getting hit. They should be dead with all the blood they're losing. So the only difference is that they're not showing it with the blood. Like, it's not, and to a kid watching it, a kid is able to take that story for what it is. They're not like, "Huh, that's confusing." But he's not even losing blood. Why is he about to die? A kid's not going to be confused watching that. I was not confused watching that as a kid. I guess, like, my view of this dub is clouded with nostalgia. This was my introduction to the series. But I didn't have any of these problems with it as a kid, and that's who it's for. And as someone who's a fan of the actual story now, the manga, I still don't have really those problems with it, because they didn't really affect the story, or it didn't really change the stories very much. It didn't change the characters very much. Oh yeah, sure, Smoker doesn't smoke, but he has smoke coming from his mouth. Like, the character trait is still there in terms of how a kid's gonna absorb it. Like, he's the same to me watching it as a kid. Sure, they edited out that whale story, which is a great story, so that's a shame. But, like, and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna be confusing when he affects the story much later." But they didn't even get to that part of the story, so it's like a moot point. So yeah, there's some confusing moments, and there's some silly adaptation, but, like, to a kid watching, they don't care, and then they're just gonna become a fan of One Piece. I did, and I'm glad that I did.